Hello, everyone, and welcome to this episode of the Nurtured by Nature podcast. Today, I'm not going to be joined by a guest, but I am here to highlight the work of a charity very close to my heart in association with a worldwide initiative called Podcasthon, which is seeing 1,700 podcasts worldwide coming together to utilise the podcasting community as a vehicle for social change by helping to amplify the voices and work of causes and charities that are close to our hearts. As this is really a central theme on the Nurtured by Nature podcast, I was delighted to have the opportunity to join with other podcasters to shine a spotlight on the amazing projects that remind us of how powerful we are to make lasting and positive change simply by encouraging and taking action to support what matters most to us. Obviously, my focus here is predominantly around nature and the environment, and over my lifetime, I've had the opportunity through both my work and now through this podcast to both work with and connect with and help raise awareness of some incredible charities worldwide, from small grassroots organisations to international non-profits with multi-million-dollar budgets. I've seen and experienced firsthand the incredible achievements that often surpass all expectations of what is possible when you bring together passionate people united by a shared intention to help make the world a better place. I've made no secret of my love of trees during this podcast. I'm sure you've heard me mention it on numerous previous episodes. And I also realised that I, like many of us, can be guilty of looking too far afield for organisations to help and support, often feeling that conservation is something that happens out there. And so we often overlook some of the many amazing smaller causes and charities that can quite often be much closer to home. And it's with that in mind that I selected the charity that I wanted to share with you today. And they're a UK-based charity called Moor Trees, which is MOOR trees.org. That's their website. So you're welcome to pop across, and I hope you will pop across and go and learn more about them and how you can get involved. I have followed their work for several years, and last year we were also able to have the opportunity to go down and spend time with the team in Dartmoor at both their nursery where they grow trees and also out in the field with some of their staff and volunteers gathering seed in the October before their tree planting season commenced. We were also able to support them with their ambitious target for this tree planting season, which was to see them plant 34,000 trees on Dartmoor. This number was chosen because it actually is representative of the population of people that live on Dartmoor and call Dartmoor their home. So they wanted to plant a tree for every single person that lived on Dartmoor, and that was 34,000 trees. Now, Moor Trees have been around for a very long time. You might not actually have heard of them before, and I hope in many respects that you haven't heard from them before, because then I'm doing my job of helping to raise awareness and bring them to your attention. And they have actually been celebrating this year, 2025, they are celebrating their 25th anniversary. They have been dedicated to actively restoring native woodland on Dartmoor and the surrounding areas for the past 25 years. And I love the concept of planting trees. I feel like it's a hugely important tool as we try to address the environmental and biodiversity crises that are facing our world. But I learnt so much from spending time with their team, and one side of it, which I'd never really given much thought to previously, was actually around the provenance of the trees that are selected for planting when we are looking to create woodlands or expand existing woodlands. And this is something that Moor Trees do incredibly well. So in October, I joined them out in the field with my partner and a lovely group of their volunteers, and we were actually out collecting seeds of the native trees that are already on Dartmoor. So we were on Dartmoor selecting trees and selecting seed from trees that are native to the area. And so those seeds are then taken to the nurseries that Moor Trees has. They have two community tree nurseries on Dartmoor, and the seeds are then carefully handled and prepared and grown on into saplings. And it's these saplings which they then provide for planting into the local area. And I'd never really thought about actually where the trees come from, which it seems really bizarre, doesn't it, when you say it out loud? But I'd never really thought about the importance of that aspect of tree planting and ensuring that you are selecting trees that are adapted for the area that you're growing them in and giving them the best chance to thrive. We were absolutely blown away by the passion and enthusiasm of the whole team at Moor Trees. We were fortunate enough to meet many of them, although not all of them, and they are just an incredible group of people who are achieving amazing things, even though they are quite a small charity in relation to some of the other huge, more well-known environmental charities that people tend to choose to support both financially and with their time. But they have already had an absolutely amazing impact on Dartmoor and the surrounding areas. To date, they have planted over 170,000 trees, which they have grown from seed in their nurseries and then planted out. Those trees have formed part of 160 local woodland creation and habitat restoration schemes. This is hugely important in terms of just reshaping the landscape. It helps with all sorts of challenges that we face in our modern society, from surface water runoff to the biodiversity crisis, by helping to put these foundational species back into the landscape to support our native flora and fauna. But they are really just getting started. They are full of ambition of what is possible and what they want to achieve for Dartmoor, the surrounding areas, and the ecology of the UK. They have set an ambitious target to work with volunteers and landowners over the next 25 years to create a wilder, much more natural Dartmoor from what we currently see, with over a third of it having native woodland and scrub cover. And to do that, they want to plant and see over 10 million trees take root through their carefully planned planting and natural regeneration. And I think what was really became very clear with them is that they are meticulous with how they approach tree planting. I've already mentioned how they source all of their seed locally, Devon holly in their nursery, backed up by their amazing team of volunteers, then carefully nurture those seeds into saplings and grow them on to various life stages till they're suitable to be planted out. But then the next stage of it is that they carefully work with landowners and communities to select sites where planting trees would be beneficial to the landscape and the environment and the biodiversity. They don't just put trees wherever they're asked. It's carefully considered. They then plan exactly what mix of species of trees should be there. They are all native, they are all local provenance for the area, but they are carefully selected in the right ratios and the right planting plans for each area that they are working in. It's this approach that is really, really important, because that ensures that these trees actually have the highest chance of thriving. I think we've all seen cases where trees have been planted with good intentions, but they haven't been cared for and managed properly. And so essentially that good intention has failed to yield the results of a thriving woodland habitat. But with Moor Trees, that's really very unlikely to happen. They're working with some amazing partners already, but they are looking for even more landowners and partners. They are a fantastic organization that you can also go and get involved with. You can, whether it's through your work or as an individual, they have numerous opportunities for volunteering, that you can go and collect seeds with them. You can help in their nurseries, and you can also take part in the important work of planting those trees out into the landscape. I am very much looking forward to helping amplify their voices this year, and will be welcoming their CEO Helen, and hopefully also having a few of their other team members onto the podcast so they can share directly with you their own story. But this was a little bonus episode to just bring to your attention this amazing organization. That's Moor Trees, MOORTREES.org. That's their website. They've got a presence on the social media platforms as well. And I know they would be delighted to have your support to help amplify their amazing work. So please, I encourage you to just go and check out this amazing, I would say, grassroots organization, because that's really how I feel like they approach conservation. But what they've achieved is huge, and saying they're a grassroots organization almost doesn't give them the credit for the incredible impact that they're having. And as always, through my podcast, I am always looking for these people and individuals and organizations that inspire me and give me hope. And Moor Trees is one of those. They are just a dynamic team of people who are incredibly passionate about what they do. There's a core workforce. They've got an amazing board of trustees and patrons supporting them. And then behind that, they've got this incredible army of volunteers who really make what they do possible. And I would encourage you to go and become one of them. If you have some money to donate to them, that would be brilliant. If you have time, that would be fantastic. But one of the things that I think is often overlooked is just being a voice to encourage and support these people. It cannot be underestimated how much going to their social media profiles and liking their posts, sharing their posts, commenting on their posts, it all helps them to gain extra visibility. And whilst you might not have the money to share with them at this time, maybe you will in the future, or maybe someone will see them because of the support that you've been giving them and help them to achieve their goals. So that's all from me today. As I said, I hopefully will be bringing you an episode with some of the amazing people at Moor Trees later in the year. I've already had some amazing guests over the course of 2025. There's been some amazing people that we've spoken to, other charities that we've already highlighted, like the amazing CEO Brett from rare.org that we spoke to earlier this year. I had an amazing conversation with Paula about her book Bad Naturalist, where we talked about her efforts at rewilding a mountain. So again, that sits nicely with tree planting, although her focus was on the importance of meadows. And again, that feeds back into what Moor Trees do, in that they carefully select sites, because grasslands are valuable habitats too. So it's important that whilst planting trees is hugely important, it's also important that that's done in the right place, and that the sites are selected carefully so that other valuable habitats are also protected that might not be beneficial to be converted into woodlands. So there's been a huge number of amazing people that I've spoken to. We're now up to episode 61. I've got lots more amazing people to bring you. I've got some fantastic conversations coming up. I'm revisiting previous guests. I already had a lovely follow-up conversation with Megan about how herbology or herbal medicine, if you're not a Harry Potter fan, has just integrated into her life. And next week I've got a lovely follow-up episode with Kerry Searle, the animal communicator from Australia. And then following that, I've got an amazing author who's coming on to talk about her new book about becoming a good relative. Lots more stories of hope and inspiration, and I just can't thank you enough for joining me on this amazing journey. We're about 2 years in. I can't believe that has where the time has gone, but every day I'm getting more and more people that I come into contact with who have this incredible wisdom, these amazing stories, and just there is so much hope. There is this growing momentum of people who actually not just want change, but are beginning to see how change is possible. And by supporting them, we can really make a difference in this world. So thank you again for your time today, and I look forward to bringing you another episode next week. Thank you so much for listening to the Nurtured by Nature podcast. I truly hope this conversation has brought some hope and inspiration into your life. I would love to have these messages ripple out across the world. So if you can, please share this episode with your friends, leave a review on your favourite podcast player, and make sure you subscribe so you don't miss the next episode. I would love to hear from you, so please feel free to connect with me on the links provided in the podcast description. But most importantly, thank you so much for being a part of this journey with me. But don't forget to simply get out there and enjoy the natural world.